very special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
A very special day we do have. It is a Monday. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning, is Laura Lee. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, Miss Becky.
And in the hot seat, we love to have her in, and we're going to grab more wisdom than anyone can handle.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be thinking today, okay?
That's a big,
it's a Monday.
That's a tall task, Becky.
Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black Tie Associates is in the house this morning.
Good morning.
Well, Mindy, we have to have you on at least once a month for sure, and
Yes.
we take you 2 or 3 times just to challenge us and give us some good food for thought.
Okay, yes.
We're glad to have you, and hopefully Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
It was, yes.
Did you watch the ball drop?
No, I was in bed. Actually.
See, she is wise, Laura.
See, I turned 51 the day before, so I'm,
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great way. But you think about years ago when you were born. You know what I mean? You were like almost a New Year's baby.
I know.
How close. I mean, you'd have got all the cool stuff.
I know. Yeah, it was
You
like a
ever
couple days late. That's the story of my life. You know.
Has timing always been a thing?
It is. It is.
Me too.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Day late and $1 short.
That's me. Well, because mine's March the 18th, the day before St. Patrick's, or day after St. Patrick's Day. And I always said that I think my mom, my timing too, because it would have been cool to be.
Oh, that would be a perfect day.
I know. How
March
awesome,
17th would be perfect. I'll tell you another day I would love to have is May 5th. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
because sometimes it falls on Derby too.
Yeah.
Like I just the world may not have survived if my birthday was on May 5th.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That would have been a home run. Well, we do what we do.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. We have Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Kentuckiana Cat and Core, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Burley Wealth Management.
All right. We're already on to the 3rd day of January. Has anybody written 2022? Have you written it?
Not yet. No, I had to write it yet.
I know. I've had to say it, but I've not actually.
I've typed it in.
Okay.
I was out there in the parking lot this morning typing it in on my computer.
It takes me a few days.
It takes me a few months. It's pretty pitiful.
Possibly better look at that though.
And make sure
2022.
Well, put up on social media. Remember Taylor Swift? I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I put that up on social media and someone put, "Oh, don't you wish?" or "Don't we wish?" Okay, I didn't mean that I'm feeling 20. I'm not feeling 22. Okay, but I meant like I'm feeling it. I'm already feeling this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I
oh,
stayed up late.
gotcha.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Okay, it
Gotcha.
was, the meaning was a different meaning.
Yes.
So then my daughter's like, should I go on and explain that to the person? And I'm like, no, let it ride. Yeah.
Let it go.
I want to say that
Let
I'm
it
not
go.
feeling
Let it
22.
go.
Okay. It's been so long ago, I don't even remember what 22 feels like. Okay. So I don't
Yes.
know. I can't do that, but I am feeling 22 because we did stay up late, and my body, no matter what I stay up, it always gets up.
Yeah,
I'm
same
a
here.
morning lark. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay.
I didn't used to be like that. I can stay. I'm really a night owl, but now that I'm up between 6 and 7. I did sleep close, like 7:45 one day when I was on vacation. That's huge for me.
Yeah.
But I did stay up late the night before, so there you go. Yeah.
It is, yeah. I was gonna say it's hard, and getting it, and really, and this is something we don't talk about, and of course for your eyes too, Mindy. Getting sleep is so important for your body,
Yes.
and that's
Probably
something
one of the most important things.
I have to agree. That and water, right?
That and water. Yeah, those
And-
two.
And that is something that we're not preaching to anyone, but just definitely reminding everyone, because that's something that I will always think I can slide on. If I'm going to give, I'll give on my sleep.
Right. And yeah,
Should
there's
do that.
lots of things
Yeah.
that good, and good sleep, quality sleep too. Getting into that deep sleep. Yeah, that's a big thing. We don't talk enough about it, really.
Right. And it's sad for those. I do sleep though. You know what I mean? When I go out, I go out. So I feel good about that. I feel sorry for those that do not sleep, because there's a lot of times
Yeah, me
people are
too.
really sad because they try to go to sleep and they can't.
Yeah.
I feel for them.
I'm like you. I'm out once I'm on.
Oh yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. When the shoes are off, I'm out.
Right.
And the dog's fed, the dog's asleep, I'm out.
Right. Exactly.
So, also, we do have a blood drive coming up on January the 7th. That's something that I have been missing. I haven't been able to give the gift of life. They always are in desperate need this time of year, or any time of year, I think. But it's going to be at the First Christian Church from 1 to 7 on the 7th of January. So let's start getting ready and rolling up our sleeves. Tonight we do have ball games. Eastern girls will be at Columbus East. So tune in for that. And Wisconsin will be at Purdue. We did go to the bowl game. It was so much fun. It was really a good time. And Purdue got the win. I was so happy.
Wow, what a game.
It was, yeah. You got your money's worth for sure. Yeah.
Offense, no defense, all offense.
And then, yeah, it was crazy. And then what I loved so much about it seems like Purdue, they do so good and they work their tail ends off to get and then they get to Tennessee, and Tennessee always seems like, I don't know what happens in that drive, but whatever happened, it changed. Whatever happened, and it turned out really good. So, but we did hear those. I was telling those coaches, we were down there, and those coaches were really very encouraging. The words there.
We're encouraging.
They were saying some really words of, let's get in there and let's get this done. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Let's just, yeah. They were very uplifting.
Yeah.
Motivating.
Right.
It made me on the sideline want, okay, coach.
Right, I'm ready. Put me in, coach.
Put me in. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, they got the job done. And yay for Purdue for sure. All right, let's talk about some things. We got a bunch to talk about today. We've got some covers that we want to talk. Of course, we are January now, and before too long, we've got the Derby coming up. We're going to talk about that. But let's jump in, because I want to kind of go towards that on the end, because that's going to be a fun part.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this new variant coming.
Yeah.
And tell us what you know, Mindy. We do rely on you, don't we, Laura?
Absolutely. We love our Mindy.
First thing, you may not say that Friday. Yes, you may not say that Friday. We hope that Mindy.
We hope Mindy.
The science nerd is in the house. All right. So, yeah. Well, I don't know if for your listeners, if you recall, I feel like a science, I feel like science teacher. So remember from my former lessons here.
We are.
Remember, but viruses mutate as they circulate. Okay, like a virus laying on a table doesn't mutate. It stays there a few minutes and then dies. So if you're a virus, your main goal is to get your babies into the air and into another host. Okay, so the virus is always working on ways to do that, and that's why sneezing and coughing is very effective. well, look, cold viruses, obviously, that, that's something that we always do. And sneezing seems to be a big one, a big symptom with the Omicron. I don't know if you've read that, like people having a lot of sneezing fits. So sneezing is a good way to get your babies in the air. So, however, when you do that, sometimes you sacrifice severity for transmissibility. So I think that's what, to me, that's what this one is. Sacrifice maybe a little bit of severity. Not to say that people aren't having symptoms and you could get obviously long COVID from this, but it looks like with the numbers out of South Africa that maybe this is going to be a milder symptom-wise, milder hospitalization and death-wise. Let's hope. We'll know in a couple weeks. We got this bounce going, and so at 2 or 3 weeks after that, we'll really see what it's going to entail. Although, not to say that obviously it can happen. So the problem to me is at this point, I don't think we'll ever be rid of this. It's just going to be how to live with it. To me, the issue is going to be when the virus mutates in a way where transmissibility and severity are both there. Now, that's not going to happen overnight, obviously, but it might, and that's the scary part to me. That's going to be the day when. Okay, well, but hopefully, maybe we'll have enough immunity going around by then. I think eventually it might burn its way out. It's going to be, less and less, but we're going to live with it for a while, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, I've heard that I've heard it is more contagious, easier to get, I guess.
Yeah, that's transmissibility. That's the sneezing.
Right, but it is not as bad. I mean, or
milder
in yeah. So I hope. I mean, not that I want it to be, transmitted. But I hope that it is milder, I guess, and something like that. So now, do we have any other okay, the symptoms you said sneezing, and is there fever and all that goes along?
I think not as much with this one. I think it's more it's not attacking the lungs so much as the earlier variants. It's more in the nasal passages and the upper respiratory tract. Again, if you're a virus, that's the best way to get your babies in the air to spread. So, but there again, it's like a math equation. You have to balance it on both sides. If you're going to do one thing, sometimes it makes something else lack, right? So that's what I'm saying. I think this one, to me, has sacrificed severity for transmissibility. You know what I mean? So, again, the problem is going to be as it continues to mutate and mutate. The vaccines will become less and less effective, although, to me, it's still better that your body sort of has some idea when it encounters it versus starting from scratch. At least your body sort of knows what to expect. Yeah. Now, it's interesting that I didn't read all this article yesterday, but the Johnson & Johnson booster seems to have some effectivity against Omicron. I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Now, and Johnson & Johnson was the one
deal. Mm-hmm. And there was a little controversy around it because, there was some blood clot issues with that one. I don't know major issues. That was the headline, of course, but I mean, they did have a very minuscule percentage of people that developed blood clots, but yeah, that booster, which I don't know, that's not surprising in a way, I guess, because as these variants come out, there may be different ones that are going to work better. And I think there's about 14 vaccines in the pipeline. So, which is good. I think the technology for vaccines went way up during this period. Again, I still go back to, hey, and I think again, listeners of the program, it's the vaccines aren't perfect. We know that. It's just a tool to use. Doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It just means that your body recognizes it, and maybe it's like getting your army ready, right? I mean, what do you want to do? You know somebody's amassing troops at your border and you're just going to sit on your hands, or are you going to amass your troops too? You know what I mean? So it's just a way for your body to sort of get a head start, if you will. And I do feel like in this country, we've had a long history of vaccine development and successful vaccination campaigns, and it's kind of the jewel in our crown. I hate the rhetoric around it in a way, because it makes me sad, really, because we've really had a long history of that.
I don't think we've paid a lot of attention to it, or I think this has brought a lot of brought it into the spotlight.
Yeah, and as we have said in the past, I mean, this was always going to happen. It was never a matter of.
Yeah, you said that. Remember? Yeah.
It was when. It was when it's going to happen.
I mean, you go back years ago. I mean, there were outbreaks of stuff, but we didn't have all of the information. Now we're so.
It wasn't at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't at our fingertips.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, I mean, you might have heard of it, but if it didn't affect you, you might have
Yeah, that's right.
And now we know, and we know people. So there's so many people that have been affected on this that are verbally talking out, whereas.
Yeah, I mean, but I think as humans sometimes we have Jared Diamond. I don't know if anybody has read any Jared Diamond, but he has books on societies and why they collapse, and our relationship with germs and that kind of thing. It's really fascinating to read him if you ever check it out, if you get a chance. I have all of his books if you want to check one out for me. The Spanish flu pandemic, if you made it through there, which we don't probably have many, there was probably babies then, right? I mean, possibly. But I mean, you were probably affected by that if you lived in that era. You knew somebody that died of the Spanish flu. And it's interesting how history repeats itself. Philadelphia had a huge, huge parade. And I want to say maybe it was this time of year, and it killed almost everybody. I mean, so obviously, here we are, however many years later, same thing. You know what I mean? So do we have social amnesia? I think we kind of do. And you're right, if it doesn't affect us, we can read it in the book, but that doesn't really affect you, I guess. But if you put yourself in that time, guarantee that would have affected you. You knew somebody that died of the Spanish flu.
Sure. Well, you go back whenever we first, let's go back maybe January, February, when you start hearing it about COVID, that year. You, didn't really, it won't affect me, or it won't get here, it won't be a part, right? Didn't we all kind of think that? And then it was sad because those that did have COVID did not want to share their story, because it became almost like they didn't want to tell that.
It was almost like a shame.
Yeah. And it wasn't, and now people will talk about and which is wonderful, because they can share their stories. They can,
Right.
And now we know there's been so many affected, and you're almost, when you're in the room and you haven't had it, you're almost the oddball out. Now, because there have been so many that have.
Right.
Now, on the shots, now this might sound really silly, but this is. I do that. I ask, you remember?
That's okay. There's no stupid questions.
Okay, so if you had your shots, this is what someone and I were talking about the other day, and then then you have to get a booster to get a booster. Then they talked about the booster. Okay, Now, does that go out of your system, these shots, or do they lessen in your system, or they will forever be in your system? You see what?
Yeah, I do.
And why?
And I think so. It all comes down to the original virus. So if you think about it, why isn't there a cold vaccine? Why don't we have a common cold vaccine? Well, it's because of mutation.
Okay.
So
was gonna say they're all different.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what I- yeah, that's what I-
I'm
and-
like, I don't
and-
know how to really say
and-
that.
right.
We're at this time.
And-
Speak up.
and colds are not caused by the same virus.
Right.
So 20% of colds are caused by a SARS virus. So your body is being programmed to fight basically one mutation. Well, you get down the line, your body doesn't recognize it anymore. You know what I mean? So in theory, it's probably going to wear off. Does it really wear off? No, it doesn't really wear off to the original thing you were vaccinated for. But it's like I started out looking like Mindy, and now a year later I look like Becky. So when your body comes into contact with Becky, you're like, I don't know who that is. You know what I mean? It's that kind of recognition. So yeah, I think the vaccine technology is very interesting, and that, this moved all that forward. I guess that's a good way to look at it. But I don't think it wears out. It just if that strand comes back, sure. If that mutation, then your body would kick back in. And
so let's explain the booster. Then the booster is the same stuff, or is it a different?
No, it's going to be the same thing because that's what the FDA approved. They just can't say, oh, well, we're going to change it. You know what I mean? It'd have to go back
flu shot.
It'd have to go back through the protocol again.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the same thing. So in theory, you're kind of revving your body up in hopes that maybe it would fight, maybe it would recognize a little bit of the other variant.
I think that's why there was so much, when COVID first started, people seen it on the back of Lysol cans and was like, oh, this is on here. Oh my goodness. Like Lysol had hidden something from the world. They knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
But SARS has always been SARS.
Yeah.
Just a new version.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So 20% of colds are caused by a SARS virus. Yeah. So, and these viruses are very particular about what they like. There's probably, and we don't know we don't know much about viral evolution or why they mutate, and we'll probably spring forward in that knowledge too, obviously, because if you know where they came from, maybe you know how to defeat them. But probably for every part of your body, every cell in your body, there's probably a virus out there that affects that, So SARS likes the respiratory tract, it's just one that likes that, and then it mutates to suit itself, And again, if you're a virus, you want to get your babies in the air. That's your whole goal. There's nothing else,
I love the way you explain that. That's
But that's
that's exactly, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would be a goal. If you were
that's your only goal.
You have one job.
You have one job.
Absolutely. My kids keep saying, when can we not wear masks? I just keep ordering them different cool masks. I'm like, hey, you got a new set of masks.
I know.
You make it fun.
It's funny, interesting, when you're presenting something and you realize you have to sell it, you bring your voice up higher.
Right.
It's just like, this is, no, really, I interviewed, and if you have something to tell someone, your spouse or whatever, bring your voice up higher. Yes, look at this.
So I have a basket on my kitchen table, and they walk through there as they head out the front door. Literally a basket of different masks. So it's kind of a little competition now. My youngest son, he matches a mask to his outfit.
That's awesome.
That's cute.
That's
Every day
awesome.
he's like, well, we've got to have more lime green masks.
That's good though. That's a good.
Yeah.
They were so distraught because they were vaccinated, because they didn't want to have to wear masks at school. That was the whole goal. But
So
things changed and they have to, so
they have to wear them at school now? Okay.
Yeah, and I can speak for Salem because we just they gave it to the school board to make the decision. Okay, well, also what schools were coming into, the degree of difficulty, or here's where you're okay. So you have that, and so you also though have so many other, but you have other guidelines if you and I were speaking and I didn't have a mask on, then we'd have to quarantine. Then if you got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And there were students, that were at home that had never had COVID, didn't get COVID, but just for whatever reason, or for
They were close contact.
close contact. So for 2 weeks they would be out.
Right.
We had one.
So are you going by the new guidelines that shortened to 5 days?
The
new CDC guidelines.
What? I'm sorry.
The new CDC
I know,
guidelines.
what were they?
The quarantining.
The quarantining, you can do
Oh,
5 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant on mask, and I was like, no, I was going to say they'd wear
The
Monday
quarantine.
through Friday. Okay, I'm so sorry. Quarantine. I didn't catch that word. I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's much.
Coffee, more
and
coffee.
honestly, Mindy's got a mask on, and I'm having. You
I know.
You keep but I'm having. So no, yes, we are doing that, but you still have so in that, in order to get the students there and to make sure that everybody doesn't have to quarantine, that doesn't need to quarantine.
Right.
And I know that it's and we've got now, there were some schools that would stop for a little while and go back, but I like the consistent. Let's just stay consistent.
Yes.
It's better for the kids.
I do
Agreed.
too. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and this is where we're at.
Yeah.
We're going to revisit it, but this is where we're at right now,
Right.
and it's better for everybody. And the kids don't really seem to matter.
No, they don't
not
care.
matter, but mine so
They
much.
don't
I mean,
care.
they seem to be pretty.
It's the
cool.
adults.
Yeah.
It is.
It's the adults acting badly.
It is.
Kids do not care.
Right. And
I mean,
think
the kids I see in the office,
Yeah.
we're going to wear our masks for a long time.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are. And you know what? It's fine.
I
It
already
is.
ordered my Valentine mask.
You
I've
get it,
got
girl.
some
There you
for
go.
St. Patrick's Day. I've got some
Yeah.
for Easter on the way.
Right.
You know what? We're getting them every holiday.
There
And my kids, I remind them every day. That's the last thing I say before I say I love you. Be careful. Is make sure you get your mask.
That's fine.
And Noah's
Yeah.
over there figuring out which one matches his outfit. Dakota just grabs one. Taylor grabs one. They're out the door.
Yeah,
It's-
they're fine. Yeah.
They don't care.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think it was it's just when you you have to be fair to all concerned. We have to also the safety and health of everyone,
Yeah.
because that's something, as a school corporation, you want to keep your student staff and
Right.
everybody as safe as
I'm
possible.
going to say this as a parent. If it comes between a mask or e-learning, they're wearing that mask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
care if I
right.
have to go
That's
sit
right.
down and
Oh
hold it
yeah,
on
and I
their
think a lot of the
face.
parents
They're wearing
when
the
they
mask.
realize that, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and it would be sad if your child, if you got a call because your child, if we didn't have masks on and there was somebody that did come up with COVID,
And that's going to happen, by the way.
absolutely, and they had to quarantine and they never did get it and never was sick or anything.
Yeah.
But
Try to find
so
babysitters and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think of it almost like, for some reason, remember at the fair, like, okay, you can pick out a prize, but you can do it from this guideline to this guideline. I mean, what I'm saying is
Right.
you have, you get the choice as a school corporation,
Right.
but you have these guidelines that make it that, I mean, you do
there's
this,
a
do this, do this,
consequence for every
everything you do.
guideline.
There's always, and
Right.
that's so much greater than that's what I feel like the public needs to know.
Right.
It's not anybody sitting there thinking, gee, we want to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or gee, we're trying to be whatever.
Because the consequence of not doing it is
way out further. And
Right,
once
right.
the parents and everybody was explaining that, everybody
Mhm.
was on board with us.
right.
They were like,
this
oh
is
yeah,
something
this is,
simple we
let's
can
do this.
do.
Let's
to-
stay the course. And that's what we're
Right.
trying to do, consistency and stay in the course.
Well, I'm wearing my mask. I mean, I have an I take care of somebody that's immunocompromised. So, well, in fact, so I was out for my birthday around a few more. I again wore my mask, but around a few more people than I wanted to be. But I wore my mask all weekend. So on 3 days, no symptoms. But still, I just feel a little more comfortable because I know I'm going to have to take care of somebody that's immunocompromised. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
sure.
that's why I do it more so. But and I still wear mine in the grocery store and that kind of thing. But I'm about the only one.
Well, but now I think that what I've seen lately is more people are back wearing them.
Oh, okay.
I've
See,
seen-
I haven't been in a while.
Yeah, I've
so
seen. No,
I feel like, yeah,
There
I've
more
seen more
people in
people
there.
yeah,
Okay.
wearing them. Yeah, and
It's probably been 3
Yeah.
weeks, 4
Yeah.
weeks since I've been in there.
yeah,
so.
since right before Christmas, I
Yeah.
think people kind of picked it back up and
Right.
started wearing
I
them
think
again.
people realized that they were going to be wanting
Ooh,
to do
I don't
Christmas
want
and be
that.
able to be with,
And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing if
I do
people
too.
realize, hey, I'm going to be doing Christmas around family, and I don't want to have to wear my mask when I'm there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think I saw that, and I have noticed that there was, a lot more. It seemed like, so that's good in our community for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's important.
That's good. Yeah. So I guess, I do need to go today. So
I would
take
be
it.
surprised if you text me and say, nobody's wearing their mask, because I think you'll say, oh yeah, I can tell.
People are wearing them.
Yeah. So but I do think that that these are things that we still need to stay the course, and we've entered into a new year, and yes, but we're also in the same, even though 2022 came in a few days ago, doesn't mean that everything's changed as far as ourselves. So
Right.
I mean, as far as our
Right.
the rates and stuff, and we are still, I believe we're still orange. We'll find out this week what color. Some of our sister counties are red. A lot of our states red, and so that. And it seems like we're not talking about it anymore. Nobody's talking about that, but it is things that do need to be discussed. That it's still going, and we've lost some of our community members because of COVID. And that's recently. So that's something that we just really need to, to stay on our guard and remind.
Right.
Yeah. So
definitely.
I know the ERs are very full. They're begging people to not come to the ERs for a COVID test. Please go to your pharmacies or your health department, things like that, because they're overwhelmed.
So here's another thing that I think is valuable. Excuse me. Back to, if you get vaccinated, can you still get it? Yes, but one of the reasons, the ultimate goals too of vaccines are, when you have something like this, to keep people out of the ER. I don't think people realize how, I'm going to just say this, and I believe it in my heart, how close to collapse our healthcare system is. And that, how we got there is an issue. Can't go back and change it now. I hope it'll change moving forward. I have my doubts about that. But,
tired.
if you want to call 911 and an ambulance come, if you want to have those services, don't take them for granted, because they may not be there at the end of this. I mean, I'm not trying to be an alarmist here. I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, but that's and that's something that we take for granted, or I know I'm saying, but this is a good reminder.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, is it as a society we do?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's
it's
right.
Just, and these are things that we really, and I'm glad you said that, and I hope that there's an ambulance worker, an EMT, or I've said my daughter's a phlebotomist, and and watching her and knowing that she has small, I almost start to cry. You know what I'm saying? Because it, watching her completely full, mask up and everything head to toe in gowns, and then and knowing what where she's being, it's very, I don't know. I just these healthcare workers, you can't say enough about what they're doing, and you, Mindy, too. I mean, you're right there too. I mean, you're right there at full throttle too.
Yeah,
right, Laura, and Laura, you too. Wait, I'm gonna cry for everybody. No, I mean
I just feel
really
bad for them. They're mentally and physically exhausted.
Yeah,
take it easy on them.
Yeah, I brought my daughter a drink,
test.
A soft drink or something. I can't remember what I brought her or something. She, said, hey, can you, bring me, and and I set it down and she took it, and she's like head to toe covered in, the robes and the hats or whatever, the garb, what do you call this? The
PPE.
I have no idea.
Personal protective equipment.
Okay, I would have completely messed that up. I would have just said PPE. She's completely covered in PPE. Okay. PPE. Becky, get the E.
Well, there may be PPE on there too.
Yeah, there could be PPE on there for sure.
We don't judge anybody. But anyway, yes, and that was, as a mother watching your daughter, that was very hard to do. You know what I mean? And I gotta go. I gotta get back. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yes. And so I can't even talk about it. No, I know. It's just hard. I know.
But I know people don't want to hear that, but it's not something that we should take for granted, and it remains to be seen if it's going to collapse or not.
Yeah, and I think you're those are good just to remind everybody, you know.
Yeah.
We are so blessed, and having those services, and if you ever watch them, I mean, they are rock stars. I mean,
Mhm.
they are, you talk about professionals. I mean, we live in a community that we have got, I mean, from our fire department to our police
Yeah.
department to our EMTs. I don't want to leave anybody out. To
Absolutely.
our medical, everybody, they are rock stars. And these are people that you know are, I mean, you want, you know, are good. And
Yeah, I mean, I think we're fortunate for a small town to have those people.
Absolutely.
It's that's not always the case.
No, we
You
are very
have
blessed.
people that are committed to doing those jobs, and yeah, I agree with you.
But I do think you bring up a good point that if we take advantage or do not realize, you know, maybe on some of this, or maybe I don't want to take advantage.
Resources.
If we overload our resources, let's say it that way, overload our resources,
Mhm.
that they might not be there.
Yes,
That's something that just to remind everybody.
that's right.
Yeah. And just like Laura's saying, they're telling, you know, unless it's an emergency, it's you try to avoid it, you know. And I know,
Especially with the milder symptoms overall. Now, if you're having trouble breathing, you have true emergent type symptoms, that's obviously a reason to go. If you have a sore throat and you're sneezing, go get a COVID test at home. And you know, I think it's interesting too with these at home COVID tests. I don't know how the reporting is done on those. Do you?
They don't have to report.
no, they don't. We found that out. We talked with the health department.
Yeah.
No, and it's like
So we're
Our
under-
numbers are very skewed. Right
We're undercounting the
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
cases,
No,
which we've always
absolutely.
been undercounting the cases, by the way.
Yeah.
I think.
So let's say that they have them on the shelf at Walmart. So let's say you go and you do one. I don't even know if they're keeping count anymore. Are they even? I don't know that they are,
I
but
don't know.
but when they were, you could call up if you wanted to voluntarily call the health department and say, we live in Washington County, and then I think they did have you also. Some people won't recognize those.
Oh, gotcha.
Like they have to be from
Like a PCR, right? Yeah, you have
yes,
to.
you
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
I'm saying? Even though you know it, that's the thing too. Is the good thing about it is if you can get them over the counter where they're easy to get,
Mhm.
and then you can go home and be responsible and take it. And what I'm saying is be responsible if you do come up positive, then quarantine. Okay.
Right.
But there's no more like the guidelines are. I
Right.
don't know. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
You are.
Typical human behavior.
So,
We're living it.
yeah.
We're living it,
I saw
girls.
somebody on social media that
Typical human behavior.
I
We
saw-
don't. I am convinced that we cannot learn. I am convinced.
You know, I don't know if it's surplus or what now, but I think people's quit washing their hands.
Well, you know, actually,
why in the world?
I
I mean,
don't
wash your damn hands.
We know better than
So I actually have a friend. You know, and here's when you have good people. When you surround yourself with good people, that's a little tidbit. Have that for the new year.
I
That's
love
be
that.
your New Year's resolution. So I had a good friend of mine who was going to meet me for my birthday. He was having sympathy's UPS pilot, which that has, I guess, ran through the flight staff at UPS.
Yeah.
And so he had to quarantine for a few days. But he texted me and said, "Hey, I'm not going to meet you for your birthday. I'm having some symptoms. Going to go get tested." And he was positive. Now he had some mild symptoms, but that's the kind of friends that I want. You know what I mean? Because they know that I'm taking care. You know,
Sure.
obviously, and don't go out if you're sick. You know, if you think you're sick. But he made the comment. He said, I'm probably not washing my hands like I was, and da 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 da. He said I've been kind of lax on this, and I was like, Tim, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
And he said, well, obviously I'm washing, but he said I was really washing them, and there's times when I probably was washing them before that I'm not now. So.
Right. Yeah. Good words of advice. But well, there we go. I think, and again, I hope that everything was said right, and the fact that we want to make sure that everybody stays safe. And again, Mindy, kind of goes back to Laura and I talk about this a lot. being responsible for yourself and being responsible and knowing your medical and knowing that if you don't feel good or feel these symptoms, please stay home. And if you do get and I saw someone on social media, he said, I just went and got a test over the counter and I tested positive and I'm sorry. And I felt sorry for him because I thought that's, he's, I guess, saying that to people that he was around. I don't know. But if you do get an over the counter, that's the positives about getting over the counter. At least you'll know, and then you need to act accordingly.
Right.
Be responsible. Be a good citizen.
Right. Be a good citizen. I think we've said that from the beginning too, haven't we?
Do we ever? Yes.
Be a good citizen.
We need to put that on your sign.
There we go.
Be a good citizen. That's right. That's a good New Year's resolution.
There we go.
Be a good citizen. That's
all right. Well, we okay. So there we go. We're gonna put that to bed.
We did the Debbie Downer.
Yeah, we did that. Now let's get Derby. Talk Derby to me, Mindy.
It's
because this is
here. It's here.
Be here before we know it.
It is.
What's happening right now? Where's our horses at right now? Where's those babies?
Where's those babies at?
Where's
Well,
those
they newly turned the new 3-year-olds obviously had a birthday. Well, I mean, they obviously have throughout the year, but everybody turns 3 at the same time.
Love that.
In their 3-year-old year. Yes, we had 3 big derby preps over the weekend, and we're kind of at the point with this crop where, we haven't, still shaking out. You know what I mean? You got some, we don't know what we've got yet. So, and of course the whole Bob Baffert Churchill Downs thing.
Did they let it back? I think going to come back. You got to have Bob Baffert.
I could say a lot about that, but I won't.
I know, Mindy.
I could say a lot. No. So I think they're going to have to get on. I'm not sure what the holdup is. This is what Mindy thinks. I think he will eventually be allowed. But here's the thing. His horses have already won some derby preps. They've not been awarded any points now, as of right now. But you're gonna, if this is going to happen, you're gonna have to get, it's gonna have
points going.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get, because it's not gonna be fair to the other owners either. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get into a real weird area here. To me, I think they're going to let him. I think they'll probably lift the ban. I think they will probably do something like what Breeders' Cup did. Bob Baffert, at his own expense, had to hire security personnel to be around his animals 24/7 with body cams and enhanced testing. So not only the testing that is required for California, because it was in California this year, the Breeders' Cup, he had to do other testing too, and that was at his own expense. I can see Churchill Downs maybe doing something like that. And it's interesting that there's been no legal stuff. And that's what makes me think maybe they're going to come to some kind of agreement, because I would have thought the legal would have started already. Because right off the bat, when the New York Racing Association banned Baffert, there was an immediate legal battle that Baffert eventually won. And nothing from the Kentucky Racing Association or Churchill Downs, other than you're banned for 3 years. So, I think he will. That was a long story, but anyway, I think he eventually will. I think he eventually will. Although, there's probably a little better relationship between Churchill Downs and Baffert versus New York Racing Association. Baffert. I don't think there's any love lost between those two, but that's all water under the bridge. But it's tough. I don't know. That's a tough situation. But
it's interesting. It's it's really interesting to see, because.
But he gave them a black eye too. That's something else too. You know what I mean? They perceive that as a black eye. I just would love to have a clean derby. Okay, let's have a clean derby.
Yeah.
If you think about the last 5 years, Maximum Security, who was doped up by the way, now that we now know, gets disqualified. We have another DQ with Medina Spirit because of the drug thing. Let's just have a clean derby, for goodness sakes. You know what I mean?
Well, it's upsetting if you had a horse in the derby and you followed the rules, and then, and you had a clean horse, and you find somebody that didn't have a clean horse. That would be very upsetting.
Yeah, and Medina Spirit passed away. Does everybody know that?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
3 years old, dead before it hit the ground. So you can speculate a lot about that too. Okay, but we won't.
Well, it's,
But we
it's
won't.
really, yeah, I have to go. I 100% agree with you. And well, they've got the spirit, they've got the speed. They don't need any extra. You know
No,
what I mean? They're already turned on teenagers.
right?
I mean, they're ready
Exactly.
to go.
They're ready. Right.
They don't need any enhancement. You know, they don't need coffee.
Right.
They don't need,
Right. Yeah, they don't need coffee.
They don't need coffee.
That's
When
right.
you get older, then you need coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we do have some. We'll go over some of the horses here. Corniche is the one probably that's.
I can't. Is it
Corniche.
Corniche?
Corniche.
Okay, Corniche. Ooh, I like that. What
That's a Baffert horse. And he's not got any Derby points, even though he's won some Derby preps. So we've talked about that. So we got a couple of cool sires too this year. Gunrunner babies are coming around. Gunrunner was a fan favorite horse back in the day. I guess 5 years ago or whatever. And then Run Happy. Everybody probably knows about Run Happy. His owner bet all that money on Essential Quality at the Derby. Remember, that's Run Happy's owner. Which some of his babies are coming around. So Smile Happy is another one that is a Run Happy baby. Yeah. So Smile Happy.
Oh my God.
Isn't that a cool name? Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think he'll make the gate. New Grange is another one. That's another Baffert runner. Pretty impressive over the weekend. He won one of the Derby preps over the weekend. Oh, there's one, and I don't think this horse will end up in the Derby gate, but there's one named Nakatomi this year. Like,
Wait, hang on.
from
I know. Hang on. Don't tell Karate Kid.
no.
Nakatomi or wait, what's Nakatomi? What?
Die Hard, the Nakatomi Plaza.
Wait, okay. Gotcha. Now. Okay. I was thinking, wait, hang on.
Yeah, I know. You know the name. Like,
What
you
was
know
his
the
name?
name. Mr. Miyagi.
Miyagi.
Although that would be a cool name for a horse. That would be a cool name
Wax
for a
off,
horse.
wax off. Yes. I promise, girls. This is Monday. I'm that Derby. I've had nothing. Okay, this is straight run. Okay? Yeah.
So
I need more coffee.
you need more coffee. So Becky will like this. Echo Zulu is a filly.
Oh, I like those.
I know, and she's pretty amazing. She might run against the boys. I'd say probably not in the Derby, maybe in the Preakness. So I know she's gonna be a good one to watch, especially in a year where maybe the Colts maybe aren't the greatest. There's another one called Major General. Major General likes Churchill Downs a lot, so that's one to keep an eye on. Horse for the course is what they call that.
Yeah.
Looking down my list here. Those are the highlights, I'd say, right now.
Okay, so let's explain maybe for those listeners that you have to get so many points before you can be eligible for the Derby.
Yeah, so the top 20 horses will
Right.
go into the Derby gate. So they run these Derby preps, they get so many points. So right now the points are 10, 5, 2, and 1, I think, for 1 through 4. And then they'll go up to 20 points and then 50 points. And then like the Arkansas Derby, Florida Derby, the stuff that right before are 100 points. So when those horses run in those races, then the points get added together, and then the top 20 and points getters, that's where your Derby gate
And
goes.
so approximately how many points do they have to have to hit the Derby?
It just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Whoever's
just
got the highest.
mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Whoever's got the highest. Yeah.
And of course, we know, like in any competition, you'd want to hit those high numbers.
Yeah.
Those would give you. I mean, you wouldn't have to do as much work. I mean, not saying that you wouldn't. I
Right.
guess you'd have to be
But
prepared.
what ends up happening sometimes with these horses are, so there's like a path that you would go, like you would I'm trying to think, like if you were in New York, you would do the Remps, I'm just going to throw the Remsen, and then there's a 10-point, like at Aqueduct, or in the New York circuits, let's say. There's a 10-point race, a 20-point race, 50-point race. There's a kind of a succession depending on what circuit. So you kind of have the New York circuit, you kind of have our area, the Midwest circuit, then you have the Florida circuit, And the Midwest kind of includes Oaklawn too, which is in Little Rock, and then you have the West Coast circuit. So, you know what I mean? There's like pathways to get there. So, technically, yes, you could run in just one of the 100-point races. If that's not usually how, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's not usually how it works. But
So do you give more respect to that scrapper that's hitting those 10, 2s and 5s? I mean, they're doing more races. The only thing, and I'm going to put a bookmark right there. The scary thing about that is you have more chances of injury.
yes, that's true.
So, and that's where I'm saying, okay, to me, this would be really a big thing, because like you want to get those more races in, because that also gives practice. And
Yes.
also makes your horse want to realize what we're doing here. You know?
Right, yes.
So that's, which, a 3-year-old, you're trying to figure all that out, right?
Yes.
But also, your injury could happen. And you have to give, but then again, also, you have to give a lot of respect for those scrappers that are hitting those 2s, 10s, and
Right.
hit that.
Hitting the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And those
how
are the
do you feel
horses.
about it? What do you look at?
Well, so it would be really difficult for a horse, I think, to go into like an Arkansas Derby without having any experience. You know what I mean? It could happen, but
Yeah.
you'd have to be really good. And this year, there's probably just not that horse. And I mean, there could be, but it doesn't look like. I look at those as ones to hit the Derby board. Like there's a horse called Surfer Dude, and he's going to be one of those ones that just kind of hits the board. You know what I mean? Like Midnight Bourbon was last year. Always going to hit the board, but
Yeah.
But that's the other thing with these horses too. They're herd animals, so sometimes they don't want to pass horses.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes, you have to learn. That's what training them that you want to be lead. You want that one that like
that wants to be on the lead and is going to stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his ears back, not too happy.
Well, and I do think it's
I'm
interesting.
blowing this way.
Right, exactly. It's not happy. But I think the Derby is interesting because the 20-horse field, it's too many. But I mean, it's not going to change. But it does change the dynamics of the race a little bit, because it if you're a closer or a stalker, maybe a stalker. If you're a closer, you have almost no shot at the Derby. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to have enough energy to get through all that traffic if you're a closer. You know what I mean? And then catch one of the fastest horses in the world on the front end. So you kind of can throw the closers out. Obviously not totally. The stalkers are the same deal, though. That happened to Essential Quality in last year's Derby, if you remember. He got hung wide, about 5 wide. And if there was another, 500 feet to the Derby last year, Essential Quality would have won that race. He ran longer and faster than Medina Spirit did. So it's become kind of a merry-go-round race,
Sure.
So you got to look at where they come out of the gate and how much speed they have early and kind of go from there.
Well, I think you have to give huge respect to the horses and to the jockeys, because you have seconds.
Yes.
And you have to, so let's say
half milliseconds.
And so, so here you are, like maybe you want to be maybe 3rd or 4th, you don't want to give it all out yet, but you've got to position, or you've got also, this is like happening so fast, and you've got to get to the position you want to be. So you
in 20 horse, with 19 other horses around you.
Making sure that if you want to go a little bit to the left or to the right, you have to be sure that you have that path,
right,
and you have that, and and one horse's nose is on another horse's bottom.
Yeah. It's tough. Scary.
Yeah,
it has to be frightening.
And you're talking little guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be. They're tough as nails too.
Oh,
they are tough
you
as
talk about
nails.
an athlete.
Yeah.
You talk about the grip of those thighs. The thighs on those horses. You know what I'm saying? And and that's,
they're athletes for
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
it's so. I think the Derby's become interesting. I almost, again, in pie in the sky, it'd be nice if it was 15, because I think you would really get the best horse of. You know what I mean? You would get the best horse of the day.
But I'd be so upset with you, Mindy, if I was number 16.
I know, right? Exactly.
I was 16 and I didn't have a shot.
Yeah,
that would
I know.
be,
I know. And they changed, right? And they've changed the gate that as of 2020. So it's all one gate. There's no auxiliary gate anymore. And I think, you don't, the stats on that are still too new. So I think that's an interesting little tidbit as well.
Yeah.
It's almost here. Derby's almost. That's the first thing. I wake up on January 1st and go, oh my gosh, Derby's almost here.
Yeah, well, but it is cool because the road to Derby, and a lot of times we don't realize all that's going on, and and if it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
Derby just doesn't happen.
Right.
There's a huge road that these horses and the jockeys and and the owners and everybody involved that have been a part of.
That really start in, some of the Derby preps, I think in September, really, well, maybe not September, maybe after Breeders' Cup at least. Well, no, it would definitely Breeders' Cup because there's some Derby preps in there too with breeders. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy. I love it though, and
I do too.
She explains it where I can understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I'm taking mental note of. I should have wrote them down. Of course, we'll have you back on, but of some of the horses. Mindy's on target. We text. Remember? Yeah. You're spot on.
I wanted Central Quality to win, and he retired, by the way. He's in the breeding shed, so.
Oh, he's living his best life.
He's living his best life for sure.
That gig.
Yeah.
That gig, Mindy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, don't put a smile on Mindy's face.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
He's doing good.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Well, good for him. Yeah.
He's a good boy. I was just looking over my list. There's some. This year's crop is a little tough to me.
Well, and you have the highs and the lows, and what about our the guy Brad Cox, the one you
Yeah.
Any of his horses that cause usually you're really
well. So Brad Cox, he's got he's got quite a few. Todd Pletcher has quite a few, and Bob Baffert has quite a few. That's kind of the those of the ones I mentioned. I think Epicenter is a Brad Cox horse, and that he really was impressive over the weekend. Well, no, that was 2 weekends ago. So he's got some good ones too. Fletcher, Cox, and Baffert. Those are kind of the three big ones now.
Yeah,
there's some mild ones, other ones, but.
Well, and it's interesting to see how much they travel and how much they go, and you are talking young horses too, and you're talking, if there's any kind of injuries or muscles, and they get massages. Some of them do. And
they're still growing though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard
about that. Yeah. And you're talking a thoroughbred's a different breed, of a horse than the fact of it's just like maybe like of a I'm going to use a Great Dane. Great Danes, like they grow so fast that you have to be kind of they really be careful not to get those injuries.
So the thoroughbreds, they're not mature till what, 4 or 5?
I think usually more so.
Or more, or maybe more.
Yeah, usually you break a horse around 2-ish, start riding.
Yeah.
And so they're fairly new on that.
Right.
And they're still babies. And they're still young. They still got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
So in that too, with the you think about the muscles and all of the ligaments and stuff, and and all of the injuries, it just be and
makes sense.
Yeah, and like if you had a child that maybe their body was growing so fast, and the doctors might say watch out for injuries. Those that makes sense.
It does make sense.
And you're talking about a
just
breed.
Seems too young. I wish they'd move it back. That's another thing I'd do. If I ruled this, I would say the Derby would be for 4-year-olds, not 3-year-olds.
I think the thing that they would say is, you're talking almost like a huge spirit. You know what I'm saying? They've got a lot of spirit, a lot of energy. That's where
I haven't seen a lot of bad actors this year either. Luckily.
Have you not?
Yeah, there's always one or two that are kind of bad actors. Oh, me too. Whitmore is my favorite horse of all time, and he was the worst actor.
Remember, I love Morgan horses.
Yeah, right.
They're stinkers. Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. I like a fiery horse. I like.
So Whitmore, he's in the breed. No, he's actually they gelded him, so he's not the breed. He's retired though. off his, because I mean, they had to, because he's still a bad actor after they killed him. I mean,
That's why I know that. There you go. There's my
yeah,
horse.
right.
Right
You could not touch his withers, getting him into the gate. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes if you watch enough horse racing, you know, the gate crew they'll kind of clasp their hands together, you know, behind the horse and kind of push him forward.
Absolutely.
Could not do that to Whitmore, because Whitmore would kick both his back legs out, straight out, like would not have any part of.
He didn't want told what to do.
He does not want to be told what to do, and they
He's not
did.
a people person.
And they did a little article on him one day. I was watching races, and actually they played it a couple times, so I watched it every time I could see it. But his handler said he knows we work for him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
I love that.
he
I love that.
he just, like, if he wants a peppermint, he's not moving until he gets peppermint. You know, he knows I have him in my pocket.
Oh,
He's
I'm
not
already
go-
in love.
Oh.
That is completely.
He's awesome.
I like
I love it. But the reason I fell in love with him, because he won. I won a lot of money on him, actually.
Yeah.
He won the sprint in Breeders' Cup 2 years ago, and I was in my living room, and I put a pretty decent win bet on him, and just was jumping up and down all over the place. But I really, he did his home barn was in Oaklawn in Arkansas. Ron
So
Moquette.
did he have any babies? Did he get this time?
No, because they gelded him right off. I mean, they couldn't handle him, so you know that's. And he's still. Can you imagine?
I got to meet this guy.
I know. I
gotta
know.
see this guy.
I know.
That's
But unfortunately,
We'll take a road trip and see if we can.
I know. I would love to.
That
He's my absolute favorite
Has
horse.
he calmed down? I wonder.
Probably not. I would say not. But yeah, so that's unfortunate too.
Yeah,
'Cause,
very
he-
unfortunate.
he-
That's why
he's
I
not
like
going to
to
have
a
babies.
baby.
He's not going to have any babies.
You
Yeah.
know, I guess if you bred into something that was really calm, somebody that was, a mare that was really calm. I mean, what would you have like that?
Right.
I mean, you know what
I
I'm saying? Maybe.
guess. So when do they here? And this is, and Becky, you may know this. I don't.
Oh, I don't know.
Do they capture any? Do they capture any of his
Oh,
genetic material
sure.
before they?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
So maybe
I'm trying to use my words and trying to make it. This is a family station. I'm trying to think of Yeah, they do. Yes, they
so
do.
before.
Oh,
So maybe.
yeah, so I bet they did.
So
I
maybe
bet-
they.
I would find it very difficult for somebody not to have wanted that bloodline there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think
So they
did.
could do, but that maybe doesn't always take with the artificial insemination.
No,
maybe
it
does.
They're
Okay.
very successful with it. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we'll
Yeah, I think
we'll have somewhat more
would that
babies
not
then.
be a wonderful? Yeah, there we go.
I would bet all my money on those babies. I'm telling you, I would. I just love
That's
that horse so
hilarious.
much.
That
I
is
love
great.
that
We-
bad boy so
We
much.
follow the family.
I just
Oh,
love
I
him.
that.
So maybe
Yeah,
that'd be
I bet they
interesting.
would have. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, maybe I could not imagine them not. I would think, especially with that spirit and that fiery,
Well,
would be.
Well, he ran in the Derby.
Yeah,
that-
so I would
yeah,
definitely. I would
he
think
was a
that they
Derby
did
horse.
before they did the deed.
But he was
I couldn't think of the words.
the
I
yeah.
was like, need
Yeah.
more coffee over here to have to explain
They,
that. I'm not gonna be raw.
But yeah, he was, and I can't remember what Derby that would have been. Maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that he was in the Derby. But he's a sprint. You know, the distance wasn't his thing.
Oh,
So
he's
he
a
was a
sprinter.
sprinter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love that. Love
But he made the Derby gate. So
Well, yeah, and kicked as he went.
yes,
he got
Whitmore.
some videos there.
I mean, if they'd have had somebody down there with a peppermint or Karen.
that's
That's
right.
right,
That's
that's
right.
right.
He'd be
Yeah,
like,
he
maybe.
might have won that sucker.
That's right.
Hey.
That's
Finish
right.
line with the peppermint.
So if you could probably YouTube, if you just
I'm gonna have
Google Whitmore kicking, and I'm sure you could find it on YouTube.
To. Hey, why
Whitmore
don't you
kicking.
Google to see if Whitmore's got any.
Right.
See if he's got any of his his.
His genetic material.
Well, be careful what comes up, Laura.
Oh, my
It
lady.
might
Yeah,
be
you
a
know,
website
it
you
is.
don't want to go to.
Right, exactly.
Beware of some of those. Yeah.
You get a call going, okay, Laura, why are you get
Rock out at work. rock out in the car or wherever you are with 97.9 WSLM. Rick and Bubba.
Yeah, this is the day we came to get down. We came to play the game in your town. We came to ride the highs of this jump, and if we came to guarantee the big crunk. So if you all young people ever want to doubt this, show stop and body rock and tell them all about this. From the village to the diverse citizens, one stop, one shot, living like a kid again. So turn up the lights, they've been waiting all night for the
Rick and Bubba Show.
The showstopper,
Rick and Bubba Show.
the showstopper,
Rick and Bubba Show.
the big papa. We gon' get it pop, we gon' get it good.
Rick and Bubba Live.
The showstopper. We gon' get it pop, we gon' get it good. The showstopper.
Welcome in 6 minutes after the hour. It is a Cook's Pest Control Best of Edition. I am Helmsy, and this is the Rick and Bubba Show. We are 1 day away, if you're listening live, for us unveiling the new studio. So don't panic. It's not that we're not on the air today. We always take that one extra day to ring in the new year, whether we need it or not, and then usually come back on Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, January the 4th. And so we will see you tomorrow live in that new studio. I got to tell you, I'm excited, and I know we'll be doing things over the next couple of weeks to really take advantage of the new space, but I got to tell you, it's coming together. It looks fantastic, and man, just excited doesn't even scratch the surface of where I'm at on this new happening in 2022. So let's go in to the best ofs. I'm going to play you 3 different bits here. We got a couple of callers, and then we discuss the summer of Bubba. Take a listen.
We continue to the phones we go. Coach Abbott is standing
good.
by.
Good. We love to hear from Coach
We have there's
A lot of tie-ins here.
there's a big playoff game in 1AA this Saturday involving our former college, Jacksonville State University, taking on another university in our Rick and Bubba audience, UTC, the Mocs. Didn't know till
University of Chattanooga Mockingbird.
did not know that. I had them still the Moccasins, and when I was told by one of their fans they've been the Mockingbirds.
Yeah, we were all shocked.
Yeah,
We were
didn't even know that.
Big game though in 1AA, a biggie.
Yep.
And Coach Abbott is the former baseball coach who won national championship in baseball at Jacksonville State. He is calling in.
Won over 1,000 games, right?
Yeah. So, Coach Abbott, how are you, buddy?
Okay, so she can come report on the sideline at our game.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you, Coach Fergus has got this team ready to play. They're going to win another one like they did in 92.
I think it's getting better.
It is getting better.
Oh, it's
unbelievable.
Hey, let me tell you, Bill can do it. And if they don't win, he'll just run their ass up that mountain.
Okay. Even if you don't know who Coach Abbott is, that is dead on. It is.
Wow.
He even got he can do it.
Yeah.
He has studied that.
Is it going to be the summer of Bubba again?
This is what's funny, probably not. What is funny, though, is the number of people who will go, and this is what I'll get off with you. Hey, is Rick coming out? And I have to give them that look. You know, I try to give them props, but at some point I get that goofy look on my face like, you're kidding, right?
Right.
Like, also scheduled to appear Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, Bigfoot, and Yeti. You know, I mean, it ain't going to happen. Not in June.
I would
Now,
love.
if it's December, Santa might show.
Right. But I'd love to come by a tennis tournament at 99 degrees with no shade anywhere and sit out there. But you know, I don't know what I've got.
Rick, people have said, can he just drive? Can he walk through the building, turn around, and walk back?
By the way, last
And
year,
I don't think so. I don't think he knows where this building is.
yeah, I'm not sure. Last year, I actually drove past it. You might not have heard. I said,
On I-65,
and I honked the horn.
about 4 blocks away.
So,
What you got all over your hands is bothering you.
Gaylord Perry.
Yeah, I put some lotion on there.
Oh,
Man,
A little lotion. Yeah, that's it.
that or some glaze off in donuts. One or the other. It's a pretty good hand. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we forgot about when we had the summer Bubba SOB. How long ago was that?
It's been a couple of summers back.
What was it? It's about 3.
Yeah.
Every
We
time,
need to have it again. I'll tell you that.
every time I forget about it, I just look at the pictures on the website. Like, oh, yeah, that's what he looked like.
Yeah, that was that.
By the way, you look even strange looking at those pictures now. I didn't realize you'd gotten that slim.
Thank you, Rick.
Go look at Bubba's staff picture right now. And you'll notice it the other day. I didn't know who it was. Right. You didn't know who it was. Oh my goodness! Here. They go, where's that guy that Rick did the show with back in the summer of Bubba? He's currently doing it with Gaylord Perry. Look at that,
Look at
y'all.
that.
Wow. It looks like you're sick.
my
Looks like something
gosh.
wrong with you.
I love his bio is classified.
Well, I mean, you look. I didn't realize you looked that sickly. So when you see people every day, I don't even notice a change. When you look at that picture,
Bubba.
You saying I don't look like that now?
No. My favorite, and it's hard for everybody. What are you doing with your chin?
Look, the teacher knew then. He didn't know how to use it. He's natural with it now.
My favorite, and we'll go through this because we all have to kind of check ourselves, is when we all declare, hey, I got to eat better. I got to do better.
Oh, man.
Bubba, you made that speech to me the other day. Hey, I got to eat better.
I got to. I got to.
And you've had about how many
Well, you may have misunderstood.
donuts today?
Hey, tomorrow I haven't been touched. I think you misunderstood the term better. He meant he wants to be more talented at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it's this place. It's
It's
folks
place.
like you
It's y'all's fault.
bringing donuts in here.
All of your fault.
It's just tough in here, man.
Oh, it's so good in here, though.
Right. Matter of fact, based on the picture I just saw Bub on the staff, I'll put my senior portrait up.
Bubba, who's that guy right there? Look at him.
Where is he?
He's in here somewhere. It's not the same.
Look, what it is, it's almost like they show, all right, there's Bubba's son.
And here's the guy that ate Bubba's son.
Rob, go ahead. You got 30 seconds.
Hey guys, what's up?
You, buddy.
All right, hey, listen to this. So this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm coming down Highway 21 in front of Fort McClellan in Anniston, and there is a tank, an Army tank, driving down the road doing about 50 or 60 miles an hour, and about 20 police cars chasing it. This is about 20 minutes ago.
What, are you saying someone stole a tank?
I don't know what's going on, but I'm working out there at the Ford, and somebody has stole this tank, or evidently, I'm guessing they stole it, or it's a crazy person or something.
Look, I'm not.
And there's
Yeah,
police cars chasing it.
I'm not trying to tell the law what to do, but they may be in that position of a car. If you catch it, what you gonna do? You know, I mean,
What was that show where the guy took the tank and he was trying to get across the state line? You know, it was the guy he played in Space Cowboys. What was it? What's his name?
Tommy Lee Jones?
Garner. James Garner.
James Garner.
You remember, and boy, hey, that thing will tear up a police car.
Have you ever seen on police chases?
Was this one of those good tanks, or was it an old?
Have you ever seen on police chases? There is one guy has a tank, and they have to try to get him, and he just
that's
really can have it.
It's one of those Abrams, man. They're gonna have a hard time running him down.
Yeah, what if also he just stops? Says, "All right, chase is over."
You know, hey, you better hope he doesn't swing that turret around and start firing.
Swing what around?
The turret.
Okay.
What did I say? I said turret, didn't
I think you might have rushed that just a little bit.
The turret. That's what I said. The turret.
We continue 866. We be big.
Y'all are so bad.
I'm telling you. Liam, go ahead. You got 30 seconds.
Hey, Rick and Bubba, love y'all guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Just want to tell you about a funny thing that happened on the way to my baptizing Sunday night.
Okay, what happened?
Everybody else that was scheduled to be baptized that night knew about it, but me. So they all brought, clothes to change into.
Mm-hmm.
And needless to say, I didn't have anything to change into.
Mm-hmm.
So here I go in. I'm baptized in my dress clothes. And
I'm out, Rick.
Go ahead, buddy.
yeah, I'm baptized in my dress clothes, and when I get out, of course, I have the air conditioner on. It's like a freezer in the church, and here I am. I'm trembling all over. I can't wait to get outside.
Now, Lynn, I got to ask you a question. Did the fact that you would need some dry clothes, did that shock you? I mean, did that
Sneak up on you in this case?
I mean, unless you're, Catholic, Presbyterian, something like that, Methodist, where they sprinkle you, if you're rolling into where we immerse, I got to tell you something, you can get wet.
I do.
I mean, it's, all right, well, Lynn, I'm sorry that caught you off guard. Maybe one of those things that it's kind of understood. But you know what? Praise God for your city.
Amen.
All right, brother. Thank you. We're all looking at each other right now. I didn't know that you ever before, like you had when you got baptized. You ever seen anybody else? I mean, it's like you ever think to yourself, man, why they're wet? So
it's kind of like going swimming and then being surprised you got wet.
Right.
Yeah. You know. What is this water all about? I just wanted to swim.
105.
Hey there, it's Rick and Bubba, and you're listening to a best of Rick and Bubba.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
If you're a regular show listener, you've probably heard me talk about my Allform sofa, which we love. So here's some exciting news. The same team behind my Allform sofa has brought us unbelievable customized mattresses made in the USA. Helix mattresses. If you need a new mattress, then go to helixsleep.com/Bubba, take the quiz, order the mattress you're matched to. It'll come right to your door in a box, shipped for free, and you can try it for 100 nights. Right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Bubba. Winter can put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. Your best defense against these costly repairs? CarShield. Taking care of a covered repair with CarShield's administrators is easy. They handle the paperwork and expensive payments, so you don't have to. Seriously, CarShield could help you save thousands. I get to choose the mechanic to do the work, and CarShield gets the rest taken care of. Visit carshield.com/Bubba to save 10%, by the way, carshield.com/Bubba. Or visit rickandbubba.com. A deductible may apply.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
We're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now. cancerscreenquiz.com.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free